Hey everybody, Prince's Friend here. First thing I want to do, obviously, is I want to show off my cool shirt. This was actually the one that I talked about before that I had spent $55 on. And it actually has an 88 on the back. And the reason that the shirt is so expensive is because it's like a limited edition version, like recreation, reprint of whatever shirts were back in '88. So it's a really comfy shirt too. It's like very good material. I'm only starting off with that because there were a few of you who were like, hey, what about that shirt that you were talking about? Yeah, so boom, there you go. But this video is actually to kind of talk about how I spent what would have been the 60th birthday of for Prince. It was an interesting and somber time. I actually found a couple of days before his birthday, I hit play on For You, and I didn't even realize what I was doing, but I was just letting it play, and it just played and played and played, and I believe I'm up to the Love Symbol album right now, and basically I've decided that I was just going to start listening to it again from beginning to end, because that's how I like to experience Prince's music. It's never just, hey, I like that song or I like that song. It is very much about the journey, which is the journey that we're all going on, and that's why this channel is very important, is because we're able to go through each of the albums in order, and I do have more coming. It's been a little bit difficult with my day job and stuff trying to get back into doing a lot of reviews, but my plan is to do that. It's summer now, so I could probably do that. But that was one thing that I did. I noticed that I was doing a lot of cleaning, and I was doing a lot of listening to music, and I found myself very productive, and all of those wonderful things. And then I got an invite to a Prince dance party. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty fun. Let's go to the Prince dance party. My wife was like, yeah, let's go. And so we went, and we showed up, and they were playing, you know, some good music. They were playing, you know, mostly like 80s stuff, you know, Kiss and You Got the Look and whatnot. And, you know, I was like, cool, like, let's listen to some music. Let's play some pool. We played a bunch of pool that night. We got some drinks. I don't actually drink, but I got a Diet Coke. But, you know, it was fun. I didn't know anybody there. I also went up to the DJ booth and I said, hey, I actually made a dance playlist, so in case you guys maybe don't have any of these songs, you know, I can totally, you know, plug my phone in and let you guys play off of my phone or whatever, but, you know, I would love to have some of his later stuff represented, and they were like, no, you know, we have those, we'll be good. So, yeah. But it wasn't, right? In the 2.5 hours that I was there, they played This Could Be Us, score. They played Black Sweat, awesome. And they played P-Control. So those were the 3 songs that they played that were not early 80s. They played you know, I Want to Be Your Lover. They played songs, you know, The Glamorous Life, and they played Databank, which I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. All right, that's a little bit different at least. I was fine with that. But really it was all of the songs that were to be expected. A lot of people were there dressed in their best 80s clothes. There were a couple of people, there was one woman specifically who was dressed like Madonna. So it seemed like they were kind of doing the whole, like, this is 80s nostalgia, that's what this is for. So I kind of get that that's why the music kind of went. And what ended up happening was I had a lot of the same feels that I had when I was at Prince Live on the big screen, where I was kind of sitting there, and I'm like, these people are taking his music and they're using it to, you know, return to some moment in their life, but they're not really here for Prince and the music. They're here for that song, this song or that song. And I've said this before in some of my videos, but like a lot of my examination of Prince and listening to his music has been very much a very personal experience throughout the majority of my life. I've been, you know, every time that there was another album, I would get that album and I would consume that and I would enjoy it and I would share it with my close friends and I would try to have discussions. I try to have discussions about music and, you know, the way that things are created and the different ways that different artists do the same thing, you know, with my kids and my friends. That is where music is for me. And I think that the announcement of the next album that will be out in September, the Piano and a Mic Tour, 1983, I think that the comments in that were the shining example of exactly what I was talking about, where so many people came over into the comments and they were just like, you know, I understand that you're upset that it's, you know, it's another early 80s thing, but you have to admit that's when Prince was his best. And I'm like, no, I don't have to accept that, and I don't have to admit that, because I don't believe that it's true. In my book, Prince got better, and he got better and better and better and better, and that's how I see it, because, I mean, if you listen to his later stuff, some of that stuff is way better than when he was, you know, in the early 80s at the height of his popularity. I would say even early 90s when he was fighting against that popularity, in the 2004s where he was fighting against the electronic movement and saying, no, we need real instruments with, you know, real musicians. You know, the early aughts where, you know, he was then starting to kind of try to get into some of the electronic stuff, and he would release multiple albums at a time, and like, it's just, it's so amazing. Like no matter how good he was in the 80s, and he was amazing, he's been amazing his whole career, you don't do something for 30 years and you're not better at it. Like, that's just how doing a thing works. Like, it's an interesting argument that people bring over. But what it turned into at the party was me sitting there watching older people who were there to relive their youth. Nothing wrong with that, but there were older people who were there to relive their youth. There were younger people who were trying to do kind of almost treat it like it was a costume party. And they were really only interested in a lot of the 80s tracks. Oh, well, and then there were people who were just there because this was a club that was rented out for the Prince night, but it wasn't closed to the public, so then there was a bunch of people there who were just, you know, they didn't have anything, they really didn't care. So, and what I noticed was that the party kind of broke up into cliques. There were the people who were dancing, and then there were just cliques. It wasn't open. Like, even at Celebration, even when they had the majority of 80s music and stuff, and I was kind of like about it, but like, even there, like, there were other friends there who were like, hey, let's talk about things, or hey, how are you doing? And there was a lot more camaraderie there because it was just a lot more love, and it seemed like at this party there was just a lot of people there for their own agendas. So me and my wife left the party, and we went and got some late night snacks, and we started watching Karate Kid, which is really weird because I just finished the Cobra Kai TV series, so I was like, I want to rewatch the Karate Kid movies. But anyway, what I've realized though about myself, and this is like going a long way off topic a little bit, sorry, I think I'm just a different type of music listener. I listen to music for a different reason than I think other people do. I've even seen people comment on Twitter and stuff who say, you know, hey, this song makes me dance more, so this is a better song. And I think that's obviously the wrong way to think about a song. There's a lot of really amazing music that is not meant to be danced to. And this is probably part of why I do what I do here, is because I like to critique my music. I like to listen to the music. I like to try and discern the meaning. I like to identify each of the individual notes and try to theorize as to why the musician chose to go up instead of down, or left instead of right. You know, what did they mean by this? Why was there this high note here? You know, ooh, they said this in this song, they also said it in the other song. Does that mean that those two songs might be connected in some way? Like, I like to analyze my music, and I like to think about the music and any media that I consume, and not everybody does that. And I think that this party was for the people who were there to party, and that's it. So, and I don't know if that's a place for me. So this is not me whining, this is just me kind of realizing that possibly large gatherings of Prince friends who might possibly be more fans than friends is possibly not for me. So it's going to be interesting going forward. My wife said we should just throw our own party, And I was like, okay, let's do that. Always a time to try something new. Like, I know I have all of you, and all of you are amazing, but I'm thinking that I want to try and foster something locally as well. So more details on that to come. I'm still thinking about it. We'll see what happens. So that's what I did with Prince's 60th birthday, and then basically for the last few days I've just been listening to more and more of his music and just enjoying it. You know, I played my dance mix for my wife, and she was just like, oh wow, that's a really good song. And like, I mean, trying to get her to kind of appreciate more of it too. So sorry, kind of like a long diatribe there, but hopefully you stuck around for the whole thing, and if you did, thank you so much for coming and watching, and may you live to see the dawn. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. To reward yourself, why don't you hit the subscribe button, and make sure to hit that little bell for notifications later on when we come out with awesome new videos. Have a good one.